It is now 3 o'clock, and I'll call the meeting to order, the December 17th meeting of the Rockingham County Board of Elections. I'd like to welcome everyone that's here, and also the ones that are watching on TV, the Rockingham Now. Glad to have you all here. I would remind you to, if you have a cell phone, to please turn your cell phone off, pardon me, or turn it down so it won't interrupt the meeting. And I'd like to ask everyone to speak clearly and into the mic. I don't know, I think Roy said that the TV volume was okay, but I've listened to minutes of the recordings of our minutes, and it's hard to understand sometimes, so I ask you to speak clearly into the mic, both the members of the board and anybody else speaking. I want to welcome our staff here and the board. I'd like to also ask anyone to not speak over somebody else. If somebody else is speaking, please do not interrupt. It's particularly hard to do the minutes because you're not sure who's saying what and actually sometimes what's being said. So please respect everybody and don't speak over somebody else. Our director, Tina, is not here today. She is sick today, and so Amy and Susan from the office is here. Welcome them, and John Morris, attorney. So at this time, I want to ask for an approval of the tentative agenda with the omission or suspension of item number 5, the 2020-21 budget. We're not really prepared to talk about that today since Tina's not here. I don't believe that Amy and Susan are in a position to answer any questions. So, I mean, we've got plenty of time to talk about the budget next month, and we normally get it into the county like March, April, or sometimes. We have time to do that. So if somebody would make a motion to approve the agenda with that exception.
Mr. Chair, I would like to also add an item onto the agenda, which would be item number 9, and move an adjournment to number 10, which would be closed session pursuant to GS 143-318.11 A5 and A6 concerning personnel.
Okay, there's been, is that in the form of a motion? Did you also omit item number 5?
Yes, I make that motion to admit that and to add the closed session.
All right. Is there any discussion? Is there a second? I'm sorry.
I second that.
Second. Is there any discussion about the approval of the agenda? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. At this time, we'll discuss the approval of the minutes. We have 11 sets of minutes. We met about 11 times between October 15th and November 15th, mostly around the municipal elections, and then our regular meeting in October. And we have those minutes, and the board has the minutes, and we can sign those minutes after the meeting rather than taking the time to do that now. If there's no objections, we'll accept the minutes as presented. All right. No objections. At this time, we'll have public comment.
We didn't vote on the minutes.
Okay.
But do you want to approve them individually or collectively?
collectively, all of them, rather than individually.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of October 15th, regular, October 15th, absentee, October 22nd, absentee, October 22nd, called, October 29th, absentee, November 4th, absentee, November 4th, called, November 5th, absentee, November 12th, supplemental absentee, November 12th, provisional, November 15th, canvass.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like, object, like sign. Okay, the motion carries unanimously. All right, at this time, we'll move on to item number 4, public comment, and I'll ask Amy to read our disclaimer regarding public comment.
The public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to present any matter pertaining to County Board of Elections business or items on the agenda. This period shall not serve as a forum for debate with the Elections Board. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the Board of Elections, not staff, audience, or media. The chairperson shall open the public comment period. Any speaker who wishes to speak shall rise and speak from the podium. Each speaker shall clearly state his or her name and physical address. Any citizen desiring to speak before the board shall be allotted 3 minutes. Citizens will be allowed to yield their time so that speakers may utilize one more attendee's time. This would allow no more than 6 minutes per speaker. If you are here to yield time or time is yielded to you, then please let the chairman know in advance. Time will be kept by a time clock. Speakers appearing before the Board of Elections will not be allowed to campaign for public office, promote private ventures, use language of a personal nature which insults or demeans any person or which, when directed at a public official, is not related to his or her official duties.
Mr. Chair, before you open up the public comments, I would like to make a statement, please.
Or is this on the agenda?
No, it's concerning the statement read by the Deputy Director.
The statement by the Senior Deputy Director?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Roy, who is Rockingham Update, not Rockingham Now. I just want to get that correct, because he does some great work for us. Mr. Chair, I just want to make a statement before we proceed into the public comments. All of you have just heard the rules of conduct for making public comments. At our October the 15th, 2019 meeting, Mr. Wally White signed up to speak and proceeded to mount a personal attack against a Board of Elections member. You did nothing to stop this. From this day forward, I'm requesting that you follow the rules of public comment, or we will be forced to take action to stop such offenses. Thank you.
Okay, the first member signed up, or the person signed up to speak is Mr. Malcolm Allen. Please state your name and address.
My name is Malcolm Allen. My address is Highway 770, Eden, North Carolina. And I serve as president of our Eden NAACP. And I'm just here today to offer a few words of encouragement as you consider the voting schedule for the year 2020 coming up. As we try to restore voting integrity, you can play a huge role. After the drawing of the new maps, many voters are energized, looking forward to 2020. I'm hoping that you can make the process pleasant and convenient as possible. If we love this country as much as we profess, let us then stand up for her principles, for which voting is one. We are looking to you to make this happen, and thank you for your service.
Thank you. The next person to sign up to speak is Ann Brady. Please state your name and address.
Hi. My name is Ann Brady, and I live at 3190 NC 65, Reedsville. And I'm here just to say, and echo what Malcolm said, I want voting in this county to be pleasant, a wonderful experience for everybody. Everybody should have an opportunity to vote, a convenient opportunity to vote. What I'm hoping is you, as a board, can work together to come up with something. I'm so tired of seeing the fighting in this county, and come up with something that works for everybody. I did pull some statistics, and in in 12 and 16, more than half of the people who went to the polls early voted. So our county likes to use early voting. I'm disappointed, which has nothing to do with this board, that we no longer have local options. We no longer can pick which days and which hours we want the remote sites to be open. And I would love to see that changed, because our county's needs are not the same as everybody else, and it would be nice to go back to that. But right now our choice is Wentworth only, or the 3 remote sites with Wentworth with the extended hours. So I'm going to ask that we do have the remote sites open. People use them, people want them, so I'm hoping that you will work together to make sure that we have our remote sites for this election. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person signed up to speak is Roxanne Griffin. Please state your name and address.
Roxanne Griffin, 108 South Wilson Street, Madison. I come today to speak to you on behalf of the Rockingham County Democratic Party. And we, as usual, would like to encourage you to make voting easier, not harder. We also understand that you have statutory limits as to what you can and cannot do. And much as we wish that local authority had not been removed with regard to the scheduling of the one-stop early voting plan, we find that, as Ann stated, the voters do use one-stop early voting. And it being a presidential election year, I anticipate, and I'm sure you do too, a very heavy turnout in both the primary and the general election, and that you should take into consideration precedent being set for future elections when you make your decision for the primary voting. As I said, we'd like voting to be easier, not harder, and therefore we'd like to request that you do open the remote sites in Eden, Reedsville, and Madison, Mayodan. So thank you very much for your good work, and I'm sure that you will work together to accommodate the voters. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're moving now to item number 6, the 2020 primary election one-stop plan. I think Ms. Brady mentioned something about the board election site being having to be open later. That is not the case. The board election site can be open from 8 to 5, 5 days a week, except for the last Saturday, which all sites have to be open from 8 to 3. So regardless of the hours or any other locations that we have, and any remote sites have to be open from 8 to 7:30, and the last Saturday before the election. The primary's coming up. It's earlier this year, I think, than I remember having it. It's on March the 3rd, so North Carolina will be in the mix of trying to decide on who wins the primary. So we do anticipate a lot of people coming out. So the hours, as I said, for Wentworth was from 8 to 5. The election, the one-stop will start on February 13th. That Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the next week through the 21st of February, and on Monday, February 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, and on Saturday, the 29th. So that's, I believe that's 12 days of regular hours plus the 7 hours on Saturday. And any remote sites that we have would be open those same days, except from 8 to 7:30, and of course the last Saturday from 8 to 3. We have had in the past remote sites in Eden at the library, in Ridgeville at the, I believe it's the Salvation Army building, and in Western, in Madison, Maryland at the library. So those same days. Now, it's up to the board to approve this for obviously the Board of Elections site and any remote sites that we want to agree on, and either 1, 2, or 3 remote sites. And I would remind you all and the board that this is, if I'm not mistaken, Tony, the only thing that we have to be unanimous on. We have to be unanimous in our decision to open the one-stop sites, or otherwise it will go to the State Board of Elections, and they'll make a decision for us. So we hope we can reach an agreement today. We need to get this in before our January the 17th, January 21st meeting. This needs to really be into the State Board of Elections by the end of December. So that's the reason we're doing this today. So at this time, does anybody have any other comments about this?
I just have a question, Mr. Chair. I know you sent us an email during the night, but I'm really confused about all these numbers we've been given. On the 12th, we received an email that said that Wentworth plus 3 remote sites was going to cost us $153,360, which I thought was unreal. Now, I have here an email that came to me during the night that said that's incorrect. Is that incorrect? And what is the correct amount?
Well, yes, Member Perkins, that is incorrect. It was miscalculated. The one stop at the Board of Elections site is correct. The one stop at the Board of Elections site and 1 remote site is correct. And the total cost for those 2 sites is $28,080. So when I looked at that, I said $28,080 times, if you multiply that times 2 more sites, it shouldn't be anywhere close to $139,000. So when I got to looking at it, I said, well, what happened was the remote sites were tripled or doubled in the case of 2 other remote sites and tripled in case of 3. But the number of officials per each hour was also tripled, which is not correct. The total cost for, and we didn't have time to get this out corrected, the hours calculated sheet. But anyway, if we have the Board of Elections site open and 3 remote sites, the required number of days, the total cost is $59,400.
And how many total hours is that for employees? Do you have that?
That's 435 hours at the 3 remote sites and 115 hours at the Board of Elections.
So that figure that we were given was correct?
The one, 59.4? That is correct.
Okay.
So what happened, we tripled the number of hours, and we also tripled the number of officials, which is, you can't triple both of them. So, anyway.
So, question?
Yes.
So if I understand what you're saying, then, a plan that included Wentworth open and a remote site in Eden, Reedsville, in the western part of the county, with the prescribed number of hours that we've looked at before, would cost $59,400?
That is correct. Total.
And
And that's figured 12 officials per hour. And I think I said in that email I sent out, we probably won't average 12 officials per hour, even though, March is going to be busy. But the chief judge has the authority to reduce the staff during like Tuesday morning or Thursday morning or something like that. They can send somebody home, or anticipating that, they can say, okay, you can be off tomorrow, or you can be off the next day. We don't need 12 people. I don't know when I've seen 12 people working at a voting location. We typically have about 8 to 10 maybe during busy times. So it's probably going to be a little less than that.
Well, I think in 2018, we allocated 14 per site. Did we use the 14 during that time? Do you know? Does anybody remember?
I don't think so. And is that 2018?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we used 14. I doubt we used 12.
so 14 workers per? I don't have a recollection of that, but I'm not certain of the number, to be honest with you. For some reason, the number 12 rang true for me, but I didn't go back and check, so I'm not certain.
Well, we figured the most number needed, and then after the election's over, we'll get all the numbers from the chief judges of who worked when, and that way we can tell then how much it costs, per site, per election.
So then, the scenario that you're painting with the 59,400, that would be the maximum, and if we do like we've done historically, where people have gone, it would be potentially less than the 59,400. Am I understanding that correctly?
That's right.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that you can answer it, Mr. Chairman. It may be one for Amy. This $9 an hour, all the precinct officials don't make the same amount of money. Don't the chief judges make a different amount?
The precinct officials do make $9 an hour that work one stop. Election day pay is different.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's new to me. Even the chief judge on one stop, chief judge and Republican Democrat judge, they
That's
still make
correct.
$9 an hour? Okay.
No, they do not.
Okay.
On election day, they do not.
But
But during
one
one
stop.
stop, that $9 is for one stop.
Okay. And that's
Precinct
what,
officials.
that's what we're looking at as far as the cost.
Yes.
This is not election day. So, now, of course, as we've said, the board has the option of, not that we want to extend in any hours of any days, but maybe adding another day or two to the remote sites. And if we added a day, say another Saturday or a Sunday, that would be only for the remote sites. That would not be for the Board of Election site. Is there any other questions or comments? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept a one-stop voting plan.
I'd make a motion to accept the number 4 with Wentworth plus the 3 remote sites open for the days that we have allocated.
I second that motion.
So that would be one-stop hours at the Board of Elections from 8 to 5, and the 3 other sites from 8 to 7:30 in Reedsville, Eden, and Madison.
Correct. But the Saturday hours are different.
Yes, from 8 to 3.
And did you specify what those hours would be?
She's, as
8
this
to
plan.
3.
Oh, okay, as presented here. then.
Yeah, 8 to 3
Okay,
on
okay.
Saturday. 8 to 7:30 on the other days. Is there, you seconded, right, Tony?
I did.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to accept Plan number 4, which we've gone over. Does everybody understand the Board of Elections site and 3 remote sites as presented on the calculator? Again, that would be a total cost of, the most we figured, $59,400. All right, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
I would like further discussion. I may have a question or two.
Okay.
Would that be appropriate
That
this
is,
time?
that is appropriate.
I look at this plan, and I think that it's a good plan. I think we can do better. I'm wondering if Bonnie, if you would consider adding yet another day to the plan that you submitted just then.
Jeff, I really wouldn't. I think 13 days is enough for early voting, plus election day, plus absentee. I just don't see why we would need any more hours.
I'm just recalling that in the most recent election that I can recall, when we had Sunday voting, I remember there was something in the neighborhood of 681 people that voted there, and I see that as being a sizable part of the electorate in this county. I'm wondering if we're providing them all the opportunities that we can by excluding either that Saturday and Sunday voting opportunities, and I'm wrestling with that with the motion that's on the floor.
Well, you do have a Saturday. There is a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm asking for additional.
Well, there's a motion and a second on the floor. We need to vote on that. If you have an alternate plan, I think we can look at that at the time. So I'll call the question. All in favor of Bonnie's motion to accept the early voting at the 3 remote sites and the Board of Elections as presented in number 4, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign.
Aye.
You said aye.
Yeah.
Also, Leah. Okay, the motion does not carry. It's voted down.
Did you vote?
I did. I voted aye.
You
So-
voted in favor of the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then I will entertain another plan.
I have a motion. I would like to make a plan where the Wentworth office is opened, and that we have 3 remote sites in Eden, Reedsville, and the western part of the county with the calendar that we have there. But I would like to have an additional Saturday on February 22nd from 8 to 3, and on Sunday, February 23rd from 1 to 5.
So that would be an additional 7 hours times 3 sites. That's 21 hours on Saturday and 4 hours times 3 is like 12 hours on Sunday. That would be a total of 35 additional hours for those 2 days. And I think I had that figured at costing somewhere around $3,500 for those 2 additional days. I didn't break it down. But anyway, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor to add Saturday, February 22nd, and Sunday, February 23rd. I would like to offer some additional comment. We're concerned, and this may have been what Bonnie was thinking about, I'm not sure. We're concerned about the workers being overtaxed for that many days, that many hours. Of course, we have enough people that are signed up to work, and we have other people that we haven't even considered yet signed up that would like to work. But that is at least some consideration. And I know there's a break between. We start on Thursday and Friday, and then we have off on Saturday and Sunday, the 15th and 16th of February. But then it goes from there to the next 2 Saturdays until February 29th. So is there anybody else that wants to make any comments about this motion?
Yes, I would like to. Not only would I be concerned about the staff, and including the office staff and the precinct workers, but I think it's being inconsiderate of the candidates and their families and the people who are campaigning for them. I mean, those people get tired just like the rest of us. And I just think it's being inconsiderate to add an extra weekend.
Anybody else? Let me add one more comment about that. If we do not approve this, I think Roxanne mentioned precedent. I know, having been before the state board before, having to do with early voting, they look back on precedents. So I'd like to make clear that if we do not have another Saturday or a Sunday, this election does not have anything to do with whether or not we'll have it in November. I mean, we may not have it this time. We may have it in November. So, but the state board does look back on the primary last 4 years ago and all that. So, but anyway, all right, I'll call a question. All in favor of Jeff's motion to add the additional Saturday and a Sunday, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign.
Aye.
The motion is defeated. All right. We're not in agreement.
Okay, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
in an effort to get a conciliatory agreement here, if Ms. Ferguson would still offer her initial motion, then I would certainly, at this point in time, second that and would support it for a vote for the group. If I understand correctly. One more time, Bonnie, can I say it just to make sure that we're on the same page?
Please feel free.
Okay, I'm hearing you say the Wentworth will be open, but that will be open 8 to 5 on the prescribed days, 13 or 14 or whatever it is, and that there will be 3 remote sites, Eden, Reedsville, and Western.
Yes.
Okay.
From 8 to 7:30.
Right, as prescribed there, which I guess when I prioritize my needs and wants, the 3 remote sites would be a high priority for me. Although I favor the Saturday and Sunday voting as well, it appears that we're not going to agree on that.
I'll be perfectly honest with you, Jeff, and I'm sure you don't recall this, the day you and I were sworn in was in April, and we did a one-stop plan that very day. And I said at that point, I will never vote for Sunday voting, and I will never vote for Sunday voting. I'm sorry.
Okay, and I appreciate that. I will probably make a motion that involves Sunday voting again, and probably the next time we come around.
Okay.
But that's neither here nor there. For what we're doing now, I think that we do, in fact, have something that we can work with. I hope that, it sounds like the rest of the board may feel that way as well.
Well, does Leanna, because she voted with you on that?
Well, I don't know. I had to speak on
I
this.
was concerned about Wentworth being open 8 to 5 and the other 7 to 3. I just want to make sure that if the remote areas, they ought to be open 8 to 7:30.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, that's mandated by the state. I mean, the Wentworth site, the Board of Election site, and any remote sites, that's the hours. And quite frankly, I wish we could be open till from 8 to 5 or 6, but we can't do that, so. All right, does that answer everybody's, does anybody else have any questions about,
I think we have an understanding. I think that I have an understanding.
I have an understanding with Jeff, and I think it's going to take Jeff removing his motion.
well,
and-
his motion was defeated.
Oh, it was, you're correct,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
correct. Well,
So-
ours was defeated,
Well,
so
I
I will make the motion over. I would like to make the motion that we accept the one-stop plan in number 4, which is the Board of Election site open 8 to 5 for the given days, and the 3 remote sites to be open from 8 until 7:30 on the given days.
And an 8 to 3 on Saturday.
That's on here.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
I second Ms. Ferguson's motion.
Okay, that motion is up again and seconded. All in favor of that, Ms. Ferguson's motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Thank you. I'm glad we were able to get together.
Me also.
So, all right. Is there, Amy, do you know of any unfinished business, or does anybody on the board know of any unfinished business at this time?
I think we do have some, and I think that's the municipal elections. We were to get a cost on all that with all the election officials and what it cost us. Do we have that?
I do not have
We do not have that yet. I talked to Tina about that, and she said normally the costs were sent out to the cities around the end of December. So I don't know that she even has that yet.
Well, that's unacceptable to me, because back in our minutes of October, I had requested that cost, and in the minutes, it said it would be provided. And I also spoke with Ms. Cardwell about how she was keeping up with everybody's time and what the cost was, because my concern is, I know that on occasion, early voting, if the precinct officials are not busy, she assigns them other tasks or projects that the office may be working on. My concern is, are the municipalities being overcharged? Because if those people are not totally working on the municipal election and they're assigned other tasks, and the cities are paying for that, then they are definitely being overcharged.
Because in the municipals, the beginning, she gave us a few days as to how many people were working each day and how many people voted. And I think at the end of the municipals, we had 313 people that voted in that early one stop. And we had 6 to 8 individuals working, and most of the time they were not that busy.
Right.
And I think it was said that she used them for other projects. Is that fair to the municipals to ask them to pay for those other projects?
Well, I don't think so, and I hope that she kept up with that, but I do not have that now, and I don't know that she does. She has not, to my knowledge, and what she told me, she had not sent any bills out to the cities yet, so.
And when
Something-
did you say, Mr. Chair, that that would go out?
I didn't say.
Oh,
Did-
that she said, that-
She said that they normally are sent out at about the end of December for the municipal elections.
Do you know, Amy?
I'm not sure about if she has the invoices prepared yet, but I do know that when the precinct officials were doing other duties for the office, that we pulled those from temporary hours.
And she has a record. There
I
is a
have the
record of that.
timesheets.
Yeah,
I
you have the timesheets.
Yes, ma'am, I have the timesheets.
okay.
Okay,
I
thank
think I
you,
would
thank
like
you.
to see that breakdown for the whole municipal election.
I would like to see it as well. And I indicated that, I believe, in an
Yeah,
email.
is that's not any different from the email that I read yesterday, I think, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And I think Royce commented on that as well, that he
did.
was interested in that.
Yeah. Okay, we'll endeavor to get that to everybody. Thank you. Is there any other unfinished business?
Were there, we were talking about the municipals, did we hear good things about the municipal elections, or did we have any complaints about the municipal elections? Do you, Amy, know
I
that?
don't recall Tina saying anything negative.
But you wouldn't know if anybody, any of the workers had complained? You
No, ma'am,
personally
I
would not know that?
ma'am, I would not.
Well, I can tell you that this year, out of 23,300 eligible voters in the 6 municipalities, we had 3,639 people vote. That's about 15%, which is about normal. We had, in 2017, we had 16%. In 2015, we had 15%. So 15% this year is about right. Now, that is, out of the eligible voters, the people that voted early is less than 1%. And I have just, go ahead and bring this up, I have mentioned it to the board that I think we need to take a look at having one-stop early voting for the municipals. It's not, of course, we just had it in one place, we had it in Wentworth, and like Bonnie said, we had 313 people to vote early out of 3,639. So most people vote on election day. I'm not sure it's worth the towns. Now, it's not costing the county money. We pass the cost along to the towns, and I don't know that the towns are aware that they do not have to have early voting.
Do you know the law on that?
I don't know, but I talked to Tina about it. She said they do not have to have it.
Mr. Morris, would you happen to have the law on that?
As far as municipalities.
It's what?
It's municipalities, is that correct?
Yes.
I know for the counties, the municipalities as well. Let me look that up really fast, and I'll readdress this here shortly. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, but that's, I know Tina and I talked about it. She said, no, it's up to the towns. If they want to have them, we will have them, and they can pay for them. But my opinion is, no more people than use it, whether or not it's worth. Obviously, we wouldn't have 4 voting sites for municipal. We'd have like 5 people a day there or something.
But I agree with you. I think it's a lot of cost, and maybe the municipalities need to decide whether they want it or not, if they have that choice.
Well, and I think we'll probably all have to agree on it. I mean, like, Madison, Medin, and Stonewall say, okay, we don't want it anymore, and Eden and Reedsville and maybe Wentworth say, yeah, let's go ahead and have early voting. Well, that would be, and then they would bear the cost of the whole thing, rather than spread the cost out. So it needs to be kind of a consensus among cities, if in fact it is allowed to not have early voting. And that's information I've been given. Is there any other unfinished business? Is there any new business?
anything?
Okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn and go into closed session at 3:45. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn and go into closed session.
Is there a second?
We wouldn't-
We're not adjourning.
We need to go into
adjourn.
closed.
We
Yeah.
should go into a closed session, and after the conclusion of the closed
That's
session.
right. I'm sorry. I got to brush up on my rules of order. Anyway, so in the regular session and go into closed session, is there a motion for that?
I make a motion that we go into closed session pursuant to GS 143-318.11A5 and A6 personnel.
Leanna already made the motion. She just needs to amend her motion, does she not?
Yes.
Or withdraw it.
Or withdraw it?
I'll just withdraw.
Okay.
Okay. There's a motion by Bonnie then to go into closed session. Is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, folks.